how's it going? My name is Jake, and today I'm going to be showing you my 2015 Camaro 2SS RS. I've owned this vehicle now for about 5 years, and I'm going to tell you everything that went wrong with it, if anything did go wrong with it at all, and overall what I think about it after 5 years of ownership. And at the moment it is a full bolt-on car. So I'll tell you how full bolt-ons are holding up and reliability, what it's like to drive in city, highway, you name it. So here's a quick walk around. Here she is. Give you a quick idle. It's kind of windy. So this is a 5th gen Camaro, and all I have to say is I absolutely love the looks. I know there are the 2016, 17, 18s look different, and then they changed the front altogether for 2019 and 20. There's something about this one that I can't come to trading this thing in. I love it too much, and this car has been nothing but a dream for me. Go. So let's hop right into it. We'll start on the inside. So I have, this is the cockpit first and foremost. Chevrolet. Here's the seats. SS on the seats. So I have, let me get, I have at the moment, sorry about that, 36,522 miles, and that's going up every day because I drive this every day. Here's the performance pages, little lap timer. I tend to keep it on this. Trip, fuel. This is true, so I get about 15.2 miles per gallon. I do city driving and highway driving. I'd say about 70% city though, so a lot of my driving is city driving. And with full bolt-ons, meaning I have Cook's 1 7/8 inch headers, a Borla attack exhaust system, Rotofab cold air intake, a catch can, strut tower brace, and a air intake scoop. So I believe that's what full bolt-ons is, or I'm pretty close to full bolt-ons if that's the case. And this is what I'm getting. And I do drive this car, I'd say I drive it 50% hard, 50% not hard. But let's just say it does take a little beating here and there, and boy, this car held up. But overall, I get about 15.2 miles per gallon. On the highway, I have gotten up to 25 miles per gallon. So it's not too bad, as long as you're not pedal to the metal 24/7. Okay, and I do like how it tells you the individual tire pressure. This has come in handy. I've had a few times where nails have been in my tires, and just having this can tell, it's just really nice to see how much air you got left before you're completely flat. Let's see here. You can change it to metric. You can set a speed warning, your oil life. I don't really use this too much. I generally change it around 30 to 40%. And yeah, and then you go back to your performance pages. So this is it. You have automatic headlights. I had them turned on earlier. So there you go, fog lights as well. Light controls are here. 1 touch, 3 blinker, or you can push it all the way down, whatever you want. There's a heads-up display. Okay, the heads-up display is 100% worth it. The car wouldn't be the same to me without it. I love this heads-up display. I've gotten so used to it. You put your blinker on, it tells you high beam, tells you yeah, it's great. So this is one of the 4 modes. Here's a G meter, this one, and this one. And if you use the navigation, your navigation instructions will show up in here. So this is the interior, obviously. Nothing changed here with the sun visors. they're still essentially useless. But keep a nice set of sunglasses in your car, and the sun visors, you don't ever need to use them. The interior is fared up well. This wheel, I know it's not too many miles that I have here, but I mean, I've had salt water on my hands, touched this wheel, you name it. I go to the beach quite often with this car. And as you can see here, this is how the wheels held up. I believe it's in pretty good shape. I use Chemical Guy's interior detailer, and then I use Adam's leather conditioner on the seats and the wheel. So you can see you got a little wear there, but that's wear and tear. I don't really have any complaints. I've had a lot of people in and out of this car, so that's expected. I'm not really complaining. The dashboard, I still think looks beautiful. Here's the console. It's all functional, as you'll see right here, the upper left. And yeah, it's great so far. Power windows, obviously, but they're one touch, so like they're automatic windows. I'm sorry. The mirrors do dim at night, which is really nice if you have someone driving with their high beams on behind you. The air condition, after all this time and with my modifications and living in South Florida, I can assure you the air condition is spectacular. It works amazing, although I tend to drive with my windows down anyway. No lights on this vehicle have blown out or burnt out yet, which is nice. The MyLink system, this is it. It works good. I have Boston acoustic sound system in this car, and it's great. I like it. I listen to a variety of music, so I think it's been a pretty good sound system. You have many pages for favorites. This is the overall screen. Here's your navigation. As you can see, there's not really much delay. I think it works pretty good. It gets the job done. You can go all the way out if you want. And yeah, I think it's a great system. It's not the best, obviously. I've seen others, but I'm not complaining. I think it's a good system. Phone for Bluetooth, AM, XM, whatever you want. All this fun stuff. I don't have XM radio, so the weather and stuff doesn't really work. Unless it's an emergency, then they'll send something. And yeah, overall, not really complaining there. The cup holders, this is the automatic, so the cup holders are okay. You're not shifting gears really, so I have no complaints there. Your traction, you push it once, it shuts off. Traction control, you push it again, this comes up. It allows it to slip to like 45 degrees or something like that. I'm not too sure, so don't mark my words, but it allows the back end to slip and then kicks in if you're going a little too hard into a corner. If you press and hold for 8 seconds, I'll do it right now. I'm pressing, holding, keep holding, keep holding. There you go. Now this shut off pretty much all the nooks and nannies, so you can go ahead, do burnouts, donuts, whatever your heart desires. Also, electronic power steering, the wheel just got very tight. When you do this, the wheel gets tight. And I love driving with a tighter wheel, tighter steering, so that's a nice thing to have. Storage, I have this here, and then underneath it is a USB direct into the car. I added this, nothing crazy. Now on the insides, the problems that I've had, only twice my heads-up display, it's starting to rain here a little, one touch. My windows are tinted. The cabin is very quiet, by the way, with the windows up. Here, I'll give it a quick rev. You can hear it, but it's a very clean sound. Nevertheless, the only issue I've had here is the heads-up display. I've turned on the car maybe once or twice, and the heads-up display just won't come on. I let it sit overnight. I banged right here a little, I tapped it, and the heads-up display came back on. So maybe a loose wire or something in there. Aside from that, heads-up display has been great. The other thing is this trim right here, this chrome. They both came off, like this little piece. I found them on the floor. It wasn't really a big deal to me. I used the same glue I used for this, 3M plastic adhesive glue, and I just glued it right back on, no complaints. So out of all seriousness, knock on wood, that's the only problems I've had inside this vehicle at all. Everything works as it should. The back seats are usable. I know the new Camaro, the 6th gen, not really, but I can guarantee you this 5th gen is usable. I've had up to 6 foot tall guys back here, basketball players, you name it, and they've been okay. Once you get back there, it's not too bad. Getting in there and out of there could be a little squeeze, but it's relatively comfortable. So if you have someone that's 5'5" or you have kids, the back seat isn't bad. I mean, we've done road trips with people in the back seat before, so it's not too bad. These front seats, quite comfortable. They're both heated seats, and I can assure you they do work. So before this rain hits, I'll show you under the hood. So now you guys are probably wondering mechanical issues. I have had no mechanical issues at all. As you can hear, the motor, it runs great. I have the headers here, 1 7/8" Cook headers, rotofab intake, Borla exhaust, Borla attack that is, and a Moroso catch can along with the struck power brakes. I've had no issues. So if you were coming to this review to look for anything wrong, any mechanical problems, I have heard that the automatics may have lifter tick, although mine, it runs great, knock on wood. I do have a dyno tune, and I tuned out the AFM, the active fuel management system, so this car does not shut off 4 cylinders to save gas. It's on 8 cylinders all the time. At the same time, my transmission's also tuned. I mean, it's a full tune, dyno tune. So the car, the tune, in my opinion, combined with these full bolt-ons, made the biggest change. Made about 390 to the wheels. And that dyno that I got it done on was underrated, according to the guy that did it. He said it's probably making it feel more. Nevertheless, at the drag strip, certain places I've raced the brand new 2020 1LE Camaro SS 1LE. We've taken it up to very high speeds, and I actually pulled after 100. RCF, you name it. I've done a few, and to be honest, this car has been nothing but spectacular. Drag strip, racetrack, and street. These tires are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. The car is really dirty, so I'm sorry, I apologize about that. But these tires, in my opinion, are the best tires I've ever owned. They're actually great. They grip from a dig, you name it. They grip very tight, very hard, very little wheel spin. I totally recommend these tires. I do have a squared setup, even though the car came with a stanced setup. So all 4 are 275 40 ZR20s. And I found that when I went with the setup, there was less understeer going hard into corners. If you want it to break loose in the back, it will definitely do that. I can assure you that. Although these tires are kind of expensive, so I try to save money on them. The brakes, I changed the brakes front and back at 30,000 miles. I used the OEM Brembo pads. I did not change my rotors, I just changed my pads. The back really didn't need it, but I got a good deal for the front and back, so I did it anyway. These are factory reproduction, or factory 5 reproduction, not factory 5, I'm sorry. Factory reproduction wheels. I paid, I don't really remember what I paid, but if you have any questions about it, ask me in the comment section, I can pull up the receipt. I love the wheels, they're like 1LE Z01 replicas. They look great, in my opinion. Give you guys a quick rev. There you go, you gotta hear it. She screams at the higher RPMs, but for daily driving, I love it. I have no complaints. The exhaust is heavy. It's a nice idle to it, and depending on the humidity and the temperature and whatnot, the time of day that I start it, sometimes it sounds cammed. I absolutely love the idle, and it does pull very hard. Let me pop the trunk for you, and I'll pop the hood one more time. I forgot to show you guys something. The only issue, I guess you could, if you want to call it an issue, is the trunk opening. It's not huge. Like the Challenger, if you guys have seen the Challengers, they have a much nicer trunk opening. This one is very tiny. It's kind of a pain to fit anything back there, but it is deep. The seats do fold, and I have used them. And it's a good trunk. I didn't buy this car to haul things around in it. I bought it to drive it and enjoy it, so I'm not really complaining much about this. But just saying, if you guys have to haul bigger items, big suitcases, whatnot, it can be kind of a pain in the butt. Honestly, I'm having issues thinking of anything to complain about here. After all these years that I've owned it, I know I don't have too many miles on it, around 38,000 miles, if I remember right. But the car has been spectacular. It runs amazing, pulls very hard with the mods that I have. I also did this intake scoop here by Base Tech, and that made a pretty big difference in my opinion. So if anyone's thinking about that scoop, I say do it. It's definitely worth the money. It was under $100 to mod the thing, and in my opinion it made a pretty big difference, especially from a roll. If you're on the highway, passing power definitely made a difference. But if you guys have any comments, questions, anything at all, please drop a comment. Please like, subscribe, let me know if there's any other videos you'd like to see. I do know how to work on this car. I've done a lot of work on it, just about everything but the tune myself. I love this car for the price. In my opinion, you can't beat it. It's not as tight as the new Camaros. It's quite roomy. I've done lots of road trips in it with multiple people, and it's a great car. The paint has held up pretty well. Then again, I do take care of it, although it doesn't look like it right now. It's kind of dirty. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. So to conclude this video, if you guys were looking for a video that would bash this car, you've come to the wrong spot, because I'm being 100% honest here. I've had pretty much no issues whatsoever with this vehicle. Knock on wood. In the almost 40,000 miles, I'm getting close to that area that I've owned it, I've not had any issues. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know. And have a great day. Take care. A quick clip of her driving. I'm gonna use some paddle shifting now. That's a little pull. I went no more than half throttle on that, and it got up to 60 pretty quick. So back to the parking lot.